All right, we are live with episode 22 of WooCommerce Office Hours. I'm your host, Daniel Espinoza, and WooCommerce Office Hours is an hour, some time where we take questions and answer your questions about the WooCommerce e-commerce system. And that could be anything from themes, plugins, custom coding, running a shop, anything and everything. I'm going to be joined here shortly. There you go. By Gabor Jaworski.
Hello, hello.
Howdy, sir. And Gabor's joining me from, you're in the UK, right?
I am in the UK. Bear with me for a second. I need to get a headset.
Yep. So you can ask questions for WooCommerce Office Hours. This happens every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can ask questions one of three ways. You can join the Hangout, and I've tweeted out the Hangout link. You watch and tweeted out the Hangout link to join. You can tweet with hashtag WCOH or submit a question via the contact form on my site. So any of those ways, questions will get to me. And if we don't have any questions, we usually grab some from a bunch of different support areas around the internet. The WordPress.org support forum, the couple of different WooCommerce Facebook groups, a couple of different Slack discussions that are going on. So a lot of places where people are asking questions and looking for some answers on WooCommerce. So how's it going over there for you, Gabor?
Obviously, everything falls into my lap within 5 minutes.
Yeah, within 5 minutes of joining the Hangout.
Yeah.
That's cool. Just give you a little intro. You work for Prosperous, which is
I do indeed.
Yeah, can you describe what y'all do?
So we are one of the third-party developer companies that are making WooCommerce extensions. The plugins that you may have come across include subscriptions and one-page checkout and PayPal digital goods payment gateway.
Awesome. And we're going to talk about subscriptions today. I've used one-page checkout on a couple of client sites before. Really good stuff. I haven't demoed it on Office Hours. I probably should do that pretty soon. Cool. So the questions that I have lined up, I have 3 of them lined up, and then I wanted to talk about 2 of those were actually talking about a new Storefront plugin that got released last month, the Mega Menus plugin, and then a new plugin that I saw come through on .org. A preview emails one by an author actually who I didn't recognize. So last week I went through a plugin live on air that I purchased from Code Canyon, and that was an interesting experiment. But I liked doing it, just installing it, showing it off, and trying to use it and seeing if there are any problems in the usage. And then I had some questions about subscriptions, and you were kind enough to join and help me walk through some of those. So cool. So first question actually came from a client project meeting that I had this morning, and they're implementing subscriptions for virtual products that have that actually are going to talk to a separate API. So the person purchases a subscription on a WooCommerce site. Their order information gets sent to another API to enroll them in this particular product is an ID theft type product. So someone else actually does the fulfillment of the service, but this person's a reseller, I guess. So I built the API integration to send that order over, but the subscriptions and the billing happens in WooCommerce and WooCommerce subscriptions. So one of their questions was, how do you do a report for so today's December 1st, if I wanted to see how many subscriptions do I have active for in November, or I guess new subscriptions did I get, how many total, how many subscriptions did canceled, and how many subscriptions are up for renewal this month. So a couple of couple of key metrics for their business to know, how their how many subscriptions they have going, if they're growing, if they're shrinking, if what they need to focus on. I think if we look at a couple of those in line, sort of active subscriptions. Active subscriptions is available via the WooCommerce dashboard. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that one's pretty easy to find out. The one that we had talked about was how many subscriptions canceled in the last month. And you had mentioned using in WooCommerce Subscriptions 2.0. That's a little bit easier with some metadata, but it would still require custom coding.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I have a test site that I just installed and going to be using that for demo today. So let me see if I can get that set up with a subscription. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Hi, Spanner. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. Let me know if you have any questions, and I can write it down and put it in the queue. All right. So let me go ahead and share screen. Okay, so this is just a local site that I have running, and I set up Storefront so we could demo the Mega Menu plugin in just a bit. Let me make sure I have subscriptions going. Let's see, WooCommerce, nope, add subscriptions. So let's create a subscription product. And let's see, daily subscription. Subscription, thanks for the help, appreciate it. We're going to charge $10.99 every day. All time, so I'm going to go ahead and publish this guy. And then when I go view the subscription and purchase it, so sign up now. You know what, I don't have. Gabor, when y'all are testing subscriptions, do you have a payment gateway that you would use? I usually have Stripe installed and set up with test credentials. Is that what y'all usually do? Something like that?
That's the easiest. The only time I don't use Stripe is when there's something like a gateway-specific functionality that I need to test. For example, PayPal.
Cool. Okay. I'm on a separate screen logging in.
Next, suck a big.
Getting my Stripe credentials. Account settings.
By taxes, legal chicken wing eating players, triple.
Is that me or someone?
Not sure, but it might sound like ads.
Yeah. Go ahead and mute everybody just for now. All right, let's go back here, check out, let's add in Stripe. All right, he can come back when he turns it off. All right. So Stripe's set up. double check my cart. Cool. Okay, so everything's good. Okay. All right, so sign up now. So most of the subscription is it's a separate post, and I'm going to double check the meta for it. Okay, so order number 104.
But the subscription is going to be 105. So that's what you need to check the meta on.
Okay. Okay, so Postman 105. So this guy is a subscription. There's all my information. Okay, next payment is going to be tomorrow because it is a daily subscription. And cool. Okay, so let me go ahead and my account and cancel that, and just make sure that. So it's processing. Let me verify it first. Orders complete. The order status probably doesn't matter. The subscription should be still active, and it is. So I'm going to go ahead and reload my account page, and let's view the subscription and cancel it. Okay, subscription's been canceled.
It hasn't actually, because it's a virtual product. It goes into, well, it goes into pending cancellation, because effectively you've paid until 24 hours later.
Okay.
So if it were to cancel immediately and you have something else tied to that, you would immediately lose access. So that's why we go into a pending cancellation, and then on the next payment due, it will cancel, but will retain. However, from the admin area, you can immediately cancel the subscription.
That makes sense. Is this in addition to 2.0?
Yes, this was implemented in 2.0.
Cool. Yeah, I saw it. I saw this new status added, and I wondered how that worked, but that makes total sense. I'm going to go ahead and cancel now, and that should be canceled. Go back here. And we have, let's see. We want to check, it would be the order status?
You need schedule end. So that's meta ID 933.
Okay. So that is over. So if I want to find out everyone that's canceled in a certain year or a certain month, I would just use this starting at the first of the month to the end of the month and check for schedule end in between those two.
Yep.
Very cool.
And obviously join it with the posts and make sure that the post ID that it belongs to is a subscription.
Yep. That would be 4.
104 is still on order, so
105, you still want to make sure.
yeah, and so 105 in the post WP posts should be a post type of shop _ subscription.
WP post ID me see. What am I missing?
And S, it's WP posts.
Okay. Status canceled and post type is shop subscription. Sweet. So that would be just a little bit of custom code to run a report and pull out a number and maybe like a CSV list of all of the subscriptions that canceled. So maybe they could follow up with customers who canceled, see why they canceled, see if it was an error, see if there was just a billing mistake, updating a credit card. I actually had that happen to me last month. In the middle of the month, I went to put up some backups on an S3 bucket that I have, and I got this really generic Amazon error saying your account's been suspended. Contact support. I contacted support. It was over the weekend, so it was even worse. And didn't get any response to my email, but it was just, my card had switched over to a new one with a new expiration date, and the one that they had on file was failing. And I had actually at some point turned off email updates. So I was not getting updated from them saying that they were trying to charge my card for this S3 bucket. And so I didn't update the card, and so it just went away. So it was easy enough to update the card, charge for the 2 months that I missed, and then contact them to have it turned back on. But had I not checked that, I could have gone on for a while. So something like this, a report like this, could give a store owner the ability to pull out a list of customers who canceled, and they could just do some basic follow-up. Say, hey, was this, did you mean to cancel? If you did mean to cancel, what could we do next time to maybe keep your business? Have that kind of dialogue with a customer. So that's cool. I might end up doing some sort of plugin for that, just to run that report, because I think that would probably be useful to other customers with subscriptions. I'm not sure what happened to Spanner since his audio was going crazy. If that was intended or not, who knows? But we'll move on to the next question. So that was how to pull some of the data out, and actually that was another question that they had, was how to test subscriptions and make sure things are running well. Subscriptions actually comes with a you can do one of two things. Subscriptions actually comes with a constant that you can define, and this is well documented in the plugin documentation at docs.woothemes.com. WCS_debug, all caps. You can turn that on, and then you'll have access to a tool which shows the upcoming purchases that are going to be made. So it shows a list of all of the subscriptions that are going to be charged in the future, and you can actually charge them immediately to make sure that the charges will go through and that the tokens are stored correctly and everything is hunky-dory. If you want to just sort of have it happen naturally, what I've done is I set up a test site with subscriptions and did sort of the same thing that I did here with a daily subscription. The daily subscription is set to run every day, and then I set a uptime robot. That's what I used. Uptime robot is uptimerobot.com. It's a free site checking tool, site monitoring tool that will monitor your site however you want it, every 5 minutes on up. So I just set that to every 10 minutes to ping the URL of the test site that I set up, and it executes the cron job, the WooCommerce, the WordPress cron that runs to check subscriptions. So every day I get an email that subscriptions updated, and I know that the subscriptions are working correctly. So those are two ways to test purchases.
With regards to the tool, I need to add that if you fire an event to charge your subscription ahead of time, it will do that, but it will also then sort of create a new event at the same time that the original was supposed to charge. So if you don't trash that, that means that you might charge your customer twice. So for example, if you if there's an upcoming charge on the 10th of December and you want to charge it today, you can do that, and it will. But then it will also have another event scheduled on the 10th of December for the same subscription. And if you just leave it alone, it will charge it again at the time.
Good to know.
Which is why this tool is hidden behind the debug flag, so that people who want to use it actually do a bit of research and read up on it.
Good to know. Yeah, and you'd like to think that someone who sets a debug flag in the config file knows what they're doing and sort of only does it on the staging site and not on a live site.
Yeah, don't do it on a live site.
So that is good to know. Cool. So I think that covers the subscriptions questions. So, and I had actually asked you, we had I had a question from a person here in town, actually from the WooCommerce meetup in San Antonio about subscriptions. So this is a co-working space they're currently on Recurly, and they have monthly customers, or excuse me, all the members are charged monthly. I actually got charged this morning, so my $50 came out of my account. I think they're charged at separate times during the month, but they want to standardize everybody to be charged at the first of the month. And then he was wondering how he could calculate churn, which is sort of something that we talked about figuring out how many customers, how many subscriptions canceled, what metrics were provided out of the box with subscriptions. And then he's asking about CRM integration. So CRM being a customer relationship manager, products like Entreport is one that I used recently with a client. I'm trying to think of others. Highrise used to be one. Pipedrive is another one. So that would be more out of the realm of subscriptions. It would be more WooCommerce exporting customer data to those other systems. And there's probably a Zapier integration for those. But with respect to metrics, Gabor, I had asked you about sort of if subscriptions brings any custom reporting outside of WooCommerce. Is that the case, or is there anything there?
Currently, no. So what subscriptions does is that it separates the subscriptions from the orders. So you get all the metrics that WooCommerce does normally for the orders, but everything that comes from a subscription will also be included. I don't think that we can separate sort of like normal orders versus subscription-based orders just yet. Reporting is something that we know that we need to implement, and it's on our roadmap for version 2.1 or possibly later.
Mm-hmm.
With all software, we can't really promise any ETA of when this is going to be done. But it's something that we're looking at. We just need to make sure that the base product works as intended. That means exposing it to new customers and existing customers and having sites upgrade and just finding all the edge cases. And once we're done with that, then we can move on to reporting.
Cool. So what's the main thing that ties a subscription to an order? It might have been in that meta that we were pulling up.
Yeah. So what happens when you click sign up and then you go through the checkout, you have an order. So in your previous example, that would be order number 104. After that, subscription creates, based on that order, a subscription object, 105. Now, between 104 and 105, there's a parent-child relationship. So the parent of 105 is going to be 104. And every single renewal order will have a meta that's called _subscription_renewal that will have a value of 105, the ID of the original subscription.
Okay, great. Yeah, I remember working on a pretty large subscription site, and this was last year, and they always wanted sort of an easy way to pull up all of the history of each renewal payment, because they had people who had been renewing for 14 months. So there was the original order and then 14 months worth of renewals after that. And the easiest way, obviously, is to go into the order, and at the bottom there's a meta box listing out all of the order IDs.
Yeah. Another possibility is there's a function called WCS_get_related_orders, and you pass it the ID of a subscription, and you are given a list of IDs. Actually, it's not even going to be a list of IDs. It's going to be an array of order objects.
Cool. That's one thing that Subscriptions does really well from a developer's point of view. Using it is the helper methods that are set up and to pull a subscription, to check if the order has a subscription, to get details about it. Those are really helpful. And then I think it's Subscription Manager class is also really, really helpful. Let's see. Cool. So cool. We're about halfway through. Let me check and see any questions came through. There. So I have the WooCommerce San Antonio meetup tonight, and you're a part of a meetup over there in London. Did y'all just have a meetup recently? I think I saw on Twitter.
Yeah, that was on the, gosh, I forgot, 23rd of November.
Nice. How's that meetup going?
It's pretty good. It's getting better and better. More and more people are part of the meetup group. Turnout, it's kind of hard because we don't have one central place where we always meet. So we sort of move around depending on where we find a meetup space. Sometimes it's in sponsors' offices, other times it's in a co-working office, other times it's in a pub. Just to be really English about that. Yeah, we have about 40–50% of turn up. People RSVPing yes to the meetup group versus people actually turning up. But I think it's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah, that's been my experience with meetup as well. You get a lot of people who join who have no intention of coming, and maybe some bots as well joining, and then RSVPs are nowhere near accurate. So yeah, we had a good turnout the first meeting here, and then the second meeting totally dropped off to about 2. It'll be interesting to see tonight. A couple of people were specifically requested talking about subscriptions, so that's why I'm presenting on it tonight. So we'll see how that turns out. But obviously, it's the third meetup just getting started, so it's going to take some time to gain some traction. Cool. So let's move on to Storefront Mega Menus. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen again. And let's go ahead and add new. Let me first find where I put that plugin. And Storefront's just a great theme to use as a starter theme for any project, really. I've used it on a couple of projects now, and I'm a fan. Let's see. You know what? I downloaded it and I'm not sure where I put it. Let's see. This is what search is for. All right. There it is. Okay, so I'm actually just going to install it by copying it over. So. see who got it installed. There it is. Okay, so Storefront Mega Menus, and for anybody who doesn't know what a mega menu is, this is a menu where instead of sort of having one drop down per menu item, you're going to have a lot of drop downs. So the expectation is to be able to add a huge number of items that will pop out to when you hover over something, like maybe have all of your subcategories pop out in a wide, well-presented box. All of your brands, maybe have an image showing an example of what each category represents. And that's what we're going to try out and see how easy or not this is to use. So go ahead and activate that. And thanks for installing Storefront Mega Menus extension. Get started, use the customizer. So let's launch the customizer and see how that goes. All right, so I'm going to want menus, and I want to add a menu, main mega menu, and let's see, menu locations. I think this is primary, and it might be secondary, but I'll have to check in a second. So I want to add all the categories. Should be more categories than that. We'll add that. Okay, so that is the right menu, the primary menu. I'm going to save and publish because I want to. When I imported products, I thought that I had wrong button. When I imported products, I thought that I had brought over categories with it. Okay, so yeah, so this has a bunch of categories that weren't in that list. Let's try it this way. Okay. I want categories, uncategories. You know what? I think this is actually a WordPress bug that that this doesn't show the correct categories. This is probably post categories, not WooCommerce categories. So pages, post, custom links. So interesting. So the best way to add a custom taxonomy, custom post types taxonomy to this menu is, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. So we're going to take categories and create a custom link. So this is a new site, so let me make sure I have everything set up correctly. Okay. All right, category clothing looks good. Let's remove that.
Just as a question, if you pull down the screen options on this screen,
This one?
yeah, if you need to tag in product categories.
Brilliant. I would think that would be, I would have thought that was something available.
Yeah, this is something that we constantly bumped against back in a previous life when I worked at an agency.
Nice. Cool. Thanks. Remove that one. Okay. Okay, so that should have updated with links to categories. Looks good. All right. So I want like this. You know what? I'm going to put everything under shop for right now. And there is no shop. Okay. All right, so everything's going to go into shop right now, including the top level categories and one set of subcategories. Just so we have some content in there to show off. Okay, so shop, music hoodies. Okay. Now, the question is, how do we make this a mega menu without reading the instructions? Let's see. This is just that. Let's see how Customizer works with it. And this is the fun of installing a plugin and not reading the instructions. Let's see. Menus. Okay. So there's not really an indication there on that. So I'm going to check on the docs. Okay, so back to the customizer. Here we go. Mega. So I'm going to add I'm going to add an image to this guy. Products, recent comments, post, price filter search, archives. What do you think we should stick in here? Let's just do text. And let's grab an image of one of the hoodie products. This would be easier on a larger screen. Not a fan of working on a customizer on a smaller screen. And the media is working. So we added some text. It's updating. I'm going to enable it. Not exactly what I expected. Make a menu, saved. Add another widget. Cool. Okay, so menu items are showing on the left. Products are showing here. So that obviously will take a little bit more finessing than I've done so far. But the concept is good. So let's remove this guy. And do this. I think this is more what it's expecting. So we'll remove those. Top level is not a mega menu. This guy is. Oh no, it can only be top level. Okay. Good to know. So maybe we did need this. You done saving yet? Come on. All right. So yeah, I ran it locally for it to be faster. So 3 menus here, and this is my image. So obviously it is changing the appearance, just not as I expected it. And so I think it probably takes some more reading of the docs to make that look like I wanted it to look. But cool plugin. I totally think that that's going to be useful to a lot of people who are building sites who want more than just sort of the regular standard drop-down menu functionality. Plus, it works with Storefront out of the gate is really, really useful.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I would have used. I wish I had it available back in the olden days.
Mm-hmm.
I remember just hand coding these massive menus, and they were the short of it, the mega menus just makes life so much easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because as a customer, you don't want to necessarily be drilling down into multiple levels of menus, and then your mouse moves and it all goes back up away. It's nicer just to be able to hover over one main topic and then see everything displayed in front of you. Yeah. Cool. So.
And then from an agency point of view, it's also a safer bet, because if something goes wrong, then the customer can sort of jump in and change the menu themselves, versus having to email or phone the agency and get charged however much money the agency is charging, or the agency having to book that time in where they need to make amendments. Mm-hmm. So anything that gives control to the customer, the end user of the menu, is a win in my books.
Definitely agreed. All right. Last question, or last bit that we're going to talk about here. New plugin on the .org repository, Woo preview emails. And again, I don't know the developer, just saw it come up in a email of new plugins that I got. And The guy posted it to another WooCommerce group, so went ahead and just thought I'd install it and see how the usage goes. So let's go ahead and share screen. And the last time I did this, there was a lot of debug messages sent out to the debug log. So I went ahead and turned that on just to see if anything happens. So let's see, plugin installed, activate plugin, hold on to your butts. So everything looks fine. Let's check usage. So it says install a plugin, choose a template, and you'll be able to see a preview of it. So WooCommerce settings. Let's see what it does for a new order email. Okay, so new order email. Preview, let's look at email, choose templates and an order. Choose the templates and an order. Is he talking about choose an order? I don't think he's talking about a specific order here, because I didn't see anything new on the emails. Oh, this is email options. Duh. Okay, let's go to new order. View template, email type. These are all just basic settings. Interesting. I don't see anything new. Hopefully I'm using it correctly. Plugins directory. Activate the plugin through the plugins menu. Admin menu. So there should be, oh, there, here it is. Preview emails. Okay, so rule number 1, if it's related to WooCommerce emails, put it in the WooCommerce menuing system so people can find it. Okay, so choose an email, choose an order. This could get cumbersome if there's a lot of orders. Probably would want to use select to or chosen or something to make this searchable. Currently viewing template file. New order. Okay, so you'll be able to choose that one. All right, so pretty much it does what it says it's going to do. It's going to print out an email of this current order. So this is, I guess, what was sent to, okay, so this is the admin. Say I want to say customer invoice. And that's an invoice one. Processing. The order has been received and now being processed. Order details shown. Cool. So I guess it does what it says it's going to do. And this is also something that somebody else said in the group, was that the UI was a little clunky. But in case I want to view an email for an order, I can just click on this preview emails. So cool. Trying to think of a use case for that. I guess if you have some email overrides that you want to see populated with actual order data, that would be useful. Or you want to see what data was sent to a customer if they were saying they didn't receive like a download link, or if they didn't receive some extra added checkout field content that was sent in the order email. Maybe that'd be useful, but cool. Free plugins, awesome. All right, so we got about 5 minutes to go. I think we're good on questions, and we can go ahead and wrap it up. Gabor, thanks for joining me. And wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate all of the help that you give me on WooCommerce subscriptions whenever I ask you. So thanks for being available for that.
Not a problem. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, man. Cool. So that's it for this week. WooCommerce Office Hours. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. You can submit your questions again. Tweet using hashtag WCOH, or you can come and join in on the Hangout. Sorry, Spanner. Had to eject you. Your audio was being disruptive. Hopefully, if you have any questions, you can submit them or rejoin and make sure and hit mute on everything. So cool. That's it for this week. We'll see y'all later.
All right. Bye-bye, people.
Bye.